Good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Sayer. I'm the Sercarbono CEO, and I'm delighted to lead you through this exploration of project certification within the sphere of climate change mitigation programs and projects. At Sercarbono, we are constantly improving, wanting to enhance the whole certification project, our whole certification process. We have put in place a capacitation plan in which we want to strengthen the capacities of our BBBs on how to certificate the projects, how to enhance the whole certification process, and to try to identify those areas in which we can assure and complement and to enhance also the integrity of the project. We are passionately committed to enhancing the environmental integrity of our projects. This commitment involves a close collaboration with our stakeholders. You, as our BBBs, are one of our most important stakeholders. Within this framework, we have instituted, as I already mentioned, a comprehensive training program for our BBBs, in which this webinar is an integral part. We firmly believe that empowering our BBBs through knowledge and expertise is a cornerstone in our pursuit of ensuring the highest quality projects within the certification cycle. Our dedication to project excellence during the certification cycle necessitates close cooperation with the BBBs, recognizing your pivotal role that you play in this whole process. The partnership between Sercarbono and BBBs forms the bedrock of our commitment to environmental stewardship. So this webinar in which we are going to hold today, the purpose of this webinar, for example, is to guide you and often wants to give you some overlook on those nuances on the certification process, particularly the significance of open communication and stakeholder engagement. We shall embark you in this webinar on a comprehensive examination of the due diligence process, during which we want to identify informational gaps and address technical, documentary, and legal issues through our innovative change request process. So we want to talk about this change request process, and we have an agenda that wants to tackle this change request process. If you can give me another. So the first part of this webinar is to show you the elements and the characteristics of the change request process. And that part is gonna be led by Jorge Plauchu, which is our carbon program director at Sercarbono. Then we will have a Q&A section in which you can ask any question about this change request process. And then we have Sara Presiga, environmental market analyst from EcoRegistry, in which Sara is gonna show you the change request management and tool in the EcoRegistry platform, how to ask for change requests, how to process the change request, and how to see the answer of this change request process. After that, we are going to have also a Q&A with Sara and other members of the teams. And then at the end of this webinar, which is going to be closer to 9 a.m. Colombian time, we are going to do some closing remarks. So I'll give the floor to Jorge Plauchu, which is going to initiate with the elements and characteristics of change requests. Jorge?
Yes, thank you, Alex. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, everyone. We are pleased to share with you this webinar where we will be talking, as Alex has already told you, regarding the change request process, which is one of the steps or one of the processes that goes throughout the whole certification process, as we will be seeing shortly. And we are right now starting and dealing with the elements and characteristics of the change request. But first, I would like to know if everyone can hear me well.
Yes.
I hope. Okay, thank you. Okay. First, we have to start by having the concept of a change request clarified. And for us in CertCarbon, a change request is a notification that is among parties involved at different stages, between parties involved at different stages during the project certification cycle. And that is entertained by Eco-Registry platform, that is our certification program registry platform. And we can there inform the other parties about the required changes, clarifications, or complementary information needs. At this figure, you can check what you will be seeing in Eco-Registry platform, which is a graphic representation of a timeline or process line regarding the project itself, which at each stage will be highlighting with a darker green color in which stage we are. In this case, we are showing a process or a project which is already under certification, but this could be at any stage for the change request to occur. So, as we have already said, change requests can be generated at any stage throughout the project certification cycle, and from registration up to the point in time where the project becomes certified. And that is a dynamic process where all parties involved at each stage can interact with each other, requesting such actions or changes. We will see shortly which are the types and rationale or categories of certifications or of change requests that could be generated in order that we can adequately process this. So what you will see in our Eco-Registry platform is that under General Information tab, you will also find a tab that tells Change Request, and from there you can either initiate a change request, reply to a change request, or see the history of change requests, which is also recorded at this platform. So what are the main drivers for change requests? First is the missing project information. So in case we still have some lacks of information, some holes that say so in the information that should be or uploaded into the platform, we could start missing project information request. We can also have the need of clarification or a correction in the project information. So incorrect project information is another driver for this. There could be errors in uploaded document versions, which also triggers a change request. Misplacement of project documentation. That is, we have several folders in our platform where it is supposed to or they are supposed to host some kind of information. In some instances, by mistake, the information from one folder is placed at another folder, and given the case, the party uploading it is the only one entitled to make such changes, so we can also generate a change request. There could be findings arising from technical document reviews, findings regarding detected project overlaps in the case of land use project. This is red projects. This is more frequent. Then clarifications needed on relevant project information and documents, or inconsistencies between documents presenting the same information. So this could be encountered as a single occurrence, or we can have multiple occurrences of these different drivers, which will trigger a change request. So, according to that, the types of change requests that we could find are missing information requests. So please upload the information we do not have already. Complementary information requests, so maybe clarifications or having completed some of the information that is already uploaded. Information or data change request. Some of the documents could be correctly uploaded and to some extent complete, but they could still have some kind of information that must be either completed or changed due to findings that the other party has encountered in the review of them. One more type of change request is the clarification or confirmation request, and the other is action required requests. So we have these five basic types of change requests. Of course, there could be several definitions or types that they could be combined, and some other that could occur, but today this is what we have encountered. So when we go to the categories of change requests, we see this screen in the EcoRegistry platform, and I must stop here to tell you that the second part of the presentation would be led by Sara Presiga, which is an expert in EcoRegistry, and there will be a demonstration of the whole process of a change request generating and processing activities, so that you can have a better hold on this. So at this time, I will only present some of the screens that you will see and explain the elements that they could contain. So when you enter or you click on new change request, you will be in this screen where you can have you will have 5 tabs. The first is project information, which could require some information regarding other owners of the project, multiple project owners, other developers, names that should be changed or corrected, which program or standard the project belongs to or comes from, the project description, and the website where the project could be found. That is the first category of change request that is called project information. Next category is technical information on the project, that where project type, the version of the protocol of Ser Carbono under which the project was registered is shown, the sector to which it belongs, the methodology chosen to develop the project, and the crediting period that is currently being pursued or or is right now or is the current crediting period. Excuse me. The next tab that you will find is when a project is migrates from other standard into Ser Carbono. So this is it shows that it is already migrated or not, program or standard where it was originated. What is the link in the oldest or the original standard where this project could be found, and a program change statement, which is a requirement for each project in order to be once it is or to be accepted into Ser Carbono as a migrated project. The next tab is locations, which is basically geographical information on the project, where it is shown the location, the country, state, town, megawatt in case of a project that has to do with the energy generation, the mapping, the documentation where the geographical information is contained, and any comment. And finally, we have documents where most of the change requests are concentrated especially in the certification stage of the process, where we have a project description document that so this is consistent with the folders that you will encounter when developing a project. So it's project description document, the supporting documents, special power of representation, mandate order, SDG reporting tool, validation calculations, validation body conflict of interest statement, validation report and annexes, validation statement, monitoring report, verification calculations, SDG rubric, verification body conflict of interest statement, and verification report and annexes and verification statement. So all of these categories could be a driver for a change request. And as you can see here in this screen, a single change request could contain many elements in which we refer to one or different or more documents which could be required in some kind of change. In many instances, the change in one document, for example, in a project description document, triggers changes in cascade, in validation, maybe verification or validation statements, in monitoring reports. So that is something that should be taken into account when generating a change request, which documents could be affected by that. What are the parties entitled to make change requests depend on the stage in which the project is. So at the registration stage, Ser Carbono normally generates the request, and the responsible for changes or responding to it is the holder or developer, and the responsible for approval will always be the same as that generated the request. In the formulation stage, the holder and developer are the ones that interact with each other. In the validation stage, the holder and developer normally are the ones that intervene with the VDD, but also Ser Carbono could have some kind of comments that could be required to or could be triggers for change request that at the end must be approved by VDD or Ser Carbono. the same for the verification process. And finally, in the certification process, which is the core business for Third Carbono, Third Carbono is the one that performs this or generates this change request, and the holder, developer, or BBB are the ones in charge of responding to it, and Third Carbono finally is responsible for approval of them, as this would be the final documents, or the final version of the documents will be the ones that will stay at record in Third Carbono and Eco Registry, and that is why Third Carbono must approve each and every change request at this stage. Finally, when you respond to a change request, you have to resolve it in order that the process could continue, either by approving or rejecting a change request, or partially approve when multiple subject change requests are made, in which case a new change request is made, just leaving the ones that were not approved at that part, and communication is automatically generated to involved parties in order that all could be in the same loop when following up. And finally, this is recorded in a change request history. This is for a certain project in which you can see different change requests with their IDs, which is the user of the request, of the change request, the date of approval, which is the approving user, the current status, and in this case we are shown at the top one is a is a change request pending approval, in which you can see the approval or rejecting buttons where this could be managed. So I leave the floor for some questions and answers you may have, so that we can stop here, and afterwards we will have Eco Registry showing us an example and real change request process in live. Okay, thank you. And if anyone has any questions, we'll be happy to entertain them for a while.
Thank you, Jorge. There is a question in the chat from
Yes.
Ana Maria Zapata. So Ana Maria mentions, does Third Carbono allow any changes related to the design of the project, such as increasing the project capacity?
Well, that depends on the stage of in which the project is and the type of project. And in this case, that is not entertained through a change request, because that is something that corresponds to the development of the project itself. Of course, there could be some questions regarding capacity changes when a project is noticed that is changing a condition or a capacity from the original documents that were uploaded into Third Carbono platform. And in that case, we could for sure generate a change request. But normally, this is in the validation stage. It is requested this capacity change, and if the methodology allows for that, if the threshold, for example, if the threshold for a project under a certain methodology, if the change threshold or increased capacity threshold is still met, you can for sure perform this change with a revalidation of the project. And in case that you could change the capacity of a project by a big deal that is not in the normal threshold, you will need for sure to maybe modify your PDD, and we will also have to evaluate that before it goes into validation. And in the validation process, it should be validated under maybe different set of rules, so that you are allowed to have your project capacity enhanced. But that greatly depends on the type of project. The only exception to this is the program of activities, where you have many activities that could be either not known at the time the PDD is developed, and that is the purpose of the program of activities, where you are having new activities under a certain time frame, and regarding some methodology and type of activities, where you could be adding year by year activities, and in that case the POA is growing, so the capacity is changing, but the capacity of each of the program activities will have to will be subject to the same rules that you must inform and check if that specific project activity or component of the program of activities could have this possibility. I don't know if there is any other question.
Yeah, Jorge, there is another question from Ash Cesar. It says, as project developers, we apply for a change request, and it is the BBB body or the standard body that approve it, or it is depending on what is the request?
Depends on the request. For example, in the validation process, you have, let's say, internal change request that goes from the developer or the owner of the project to the BBB, and those pertain to the validation process itself, in which Ser Carbono does not intervene. Ser Carbono only intervenes when something is detected or from a review of the documents that have been already uploaded by the project owner or holder, so that the response is that depends.
Okay, and there is Camilo Carvajal who has also a question. Camilo, you can take the floor.
Good morning to everyone. Hello, Mr. Saer, Mr. Plauchu. My question, it's regarding the times between phases, okay? How long does each phase take for Ser Carbono to issue this type of request that you mentioned before?
If I understand well, what you want to know is how long does it take to generate change request, or to process
because
request?
the review for Ser Carbono to regard this kind of request to the different projects. I don't know, 1 week, 3 days, 2 weeks, I don't know.
Jorge, microphone, Jorge.
Yes, sorry. In case of the registration stage, which is controlled by Ser Carbono, it is fairly quick. Once you have sent your project for registration, it is reviewed, and in a matter of maybe one week at most, we will be generating the change request. In the next stages, the registration, the validation, the verification, that depends more on the process itself, and Ser Carbono has not a direct intervention on these stages, except when we can see something that could affect the whole process, and then we have like the policy of raising a change request, which is informative and just a warning, so that you can have an opportunity to avoid some further delays when the certification process comes into effect. At the end, in the certification process, we normally process our certification in 2 weeks, working time. So normally the change requests are generated in no more than 1 week after we receive the project for certification. And in that at that point of time, the clock is stopped until we receive the response and we find this satisfactory, and then we can restart the process. So that is a short question, but and there could be some observations or change requests we have that could not conform to these times, because those are from processes we don't control. But at the moment we become aware of that, we raise them.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Plachu.
Okay. I don't know if we have one more question, and then we can pass on the mic to Sarah, so that we can have maybe some more questions at the end. Yes, Camilo? You have...
No, sir, no, sir. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so did you make any question? Because
no, Jorge, in the chat, no.
Okay. Okay, then I'll pass the floor to Sarah, and thank you for your attendance, and we will be happy to entertain any other questions at the end of this session, or you can communicate to Sir Carbono for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Plachu. Hello, everyone. So let me share my screen first. So let me know if you see it. Okay. I think that is working. Okay, perfect. So at this moment, okay, my goal is to demonstrate how in our platform you can make a change request. The first time, I want to show you how to do a change request as a project owner or developer, because the view is kind of different than a VBB. So I'm going to start show you this environmental test for any developer or project owner. At this moment, it's important to say that the process of the change request is made or is designed so on the platform that be aligned with the stage of the project. This is important to mention because obviously, as Jorge said, the documentation and information in the validation stage are not the same in the verification stage. So next, I will explain to you how to make a change request, how you can respond, and then how you can respond that change request and during the process. So I will show you. So this is an environmental test that we always use. Some of you are familiar with. So to do any change request, you have to go to projects in this tab, and then you click here in my project. And then, so you can see all this information. So let me, this, okay. So you have to click here. You can see all the information on the projects that are available to do any function or any options. So if you want to do any change request in the stage, as you can see here in the project stage in registration, so you have to go to click here and preview, and then you will see all the general information of the project, and then in this button in change request, you have to click here, and then you click here. So you will see this window. In this window, you find different types of information of any project. So you can find here the project information, technical information, converter for another standard, locations and documents. So depending on the change request that you want to do, you can click in any tab. If, for example, if you want to do any project information about the name, so always you have to, I have to remember that this is a view of any developer or any project owner. So so if you want to do any change about the name, so always you have to click here on this box, and you will see the platform is habilitated the information that you have to enter to change. So if you want to change the name, so I have to prove you can change here the information, and also always the platform, not the platform, but the process is going to require any comments. It's important to enter here what is the reasons that you have to do, or what is the reasons about that kind of change. So you have to enter here, and this is important because, for example, in this stage, this is project that is in formulation. So the Cercarbon in this case, or the standard body, is going to receive the email or the notification about this process, and they're gonna read what is the comment. And it's important to be clear here about what is the motivation that you have to do any change request. So also you can do another you can do many change requests in one solicitude. So for example, in this case, if you want to do any change requests about documents. So this is the only documents that is going to appear, because remember, we are just in formulation stage. So here in project description documents, so if you want to do any any modifications, so always you have to click here in this box, enter the comment, and then so you can add here the new document that you want to change. But also you can see here, this is a tip for developers and project owners, that if you want to update the previous document that you attach on the platform, so you have to click here on update, and you're gonna see this available option where you can update a new document. So I'm gonna put this for example. Okay, let's do that. And also, for example, this is another big question that we receive all the time about the locations, because sometimes in different projects it's mandatory to update or to upload, a mapping. So, but sometimes you could make any mistakes, or you have to change that. So you have for do any change requests for location, entering this tab. First, you have to delete in this option the previous mapping that you had, and you have always enter the comment, and then you can upload the new mapping. Let me put this one. You can download this mapping and enter the new reference name, and again the comment, and that's it. As you see, we did like 3 different change requests in our platform. So if you see that everything is okay, so you have to click here on submit, and then accept. So in this moment, this information is going to appear to the certification body. He is going to review all the documents, all the solicitude. I saw that Jorge show you how this appeared, but I'm going to show you next how that kind of information is going to appear about a VBB. So I want to show you in the second time what is the type of information who is going to appear in the different stage of the project. So we already see the documents and the information who a change request is available for the registration stage or the formulation stage, but then you can see this example, the change request 2, who is in the validation stage, and I'm going to show you what is the information that's going to appear here. So here, change request. So, I mean, the project information is like the same, is the owner, is about the name, the program standard, yes, the project description, but you can edit as a owner or as a project developer the information. You can see here, for example, the documents. It's going to appear another documents, like a validation calculation, validation documents, and supporting documents validation. And I mean, the technical information and the location. I mean, it is like the same thing, but with different documents and information. So if, for example, the project is in the verification stage, so you can click here and preview, and then the change request. I want to show you how it looks in the documents section. So let me, okay. So here you're gonna see that it's not only the validation documents, but it's also the monitoring report, verification calculation, verification documents, supporting documents, and verification. So this is like a view of any developer project owner. So let me show you another view. I have to stop to share my screen, and again, I'm going to share this one. This is okay, it's okay. So this is a test environment for a VBB. This is so similar like any VBB can see. So here on projects, you have, if you want to do any change request, you have to go to here to projects and then click on my project. So you will see, I mean, in this case, for example, the change request 2 and 3, who is in the validation and verification stage, you can see who is the responsible for validation and verification, and this is the name that we use for do this test. And for example, if you want to do any change request in the validation stage, so you can click here, and then as you see, is really different as the view of any developer or any project owner, because here you as a VBB, you can do any, I mean, the suggestions of different. So, but the information and the documents is similar. So here in the project information, you will see these tabs is project information, technical information, location, documents, and converted for another standard. So if you want to do any change request to the project owner or to the developer, so in this case is about the validation documents. So you can click here. You also have to enter the comments and the finding documents. So that's the only thing that you have to do if you want to do any change request as a VBB. Let me put any documents here. So if everything is okay, it's just only want to do any change request about validations or documents, so you can click here and submit and then accept. So close and continue. So in this case, the owner of the project or the developer is going to receive an email. In that email, explain that there is a change request that you have to review, and then the project owner had to add the new documentation that is necessary for this stage. So I want to show you the change request in this case. So this is, so if you want to see what is happening with your change request, with the what is happening, what is the current state, so you can click on the button of change request and the history of change request. Also, you can see who is the requesting user in this example. So you can click here and see the action that is necessary for that change request. Let me here. So you can see what is happening with the change request, what is the current state, if that pending or no, or that is or if that is okay or no. And also with this one. So I don't know. Let me see if this have the example. Okay, so this is like my introduction about how to do a change request. I don't know if you have any questions, so go ahead. I'll be here to listen you.
Thank you very much, Sarah, to show us how to do the change request at the Eco-Registry platform. So we open the floor to everyone, to any question that you may have on this process. You can do just taking your hands up, or by writing your comments or questions on the chat. I don't see any questions right now on the chat window. I don't know if anyone wants to take the floor and do or formulate any question you may have. No? Okay. Okay, no, just there's a comment about thanking about Ash Cesar, that everything looks straightforward and everything seems well designed. Thank you very much, Ash. Okay, so thank you. I think like this is what we are doing here at Ser Carbono, and it's important you, all our stakeholders, project developers, and also BBBs take into account that we are trying to identify through the certification process, where are those bottlenecks, and where are those issues in which we are seeing there is a room of improvement. Constantly, when we do the whole certification process and our certificators works with the BBBs and works with the developers, many questions arise and many bottlenecks also arise during this process. And we are in that process, we are identifying those issues in which there are many questions and many or there are many errors processing the whole certification process. And based on that information, we have put in place a training program. And this webinar, this one of the change request, was one of the most important, because many questions during the certification process has been arising from project developers, from BBBs, on how to do the change request. So we, during this webinar, we have identified those reasons or those main drivers for change requests. For example, missing project informations, errors when you upload different document or document versions, or misplacement of project documentations. So it's really important you to know that there is a process in which how to process that change request. And we have seen, firstly, how what these different drivers, these different categories of change requests, and also how the process is going to or should be developed into the registry. So we thank you very much. This webinar was held in English, but we are going to hold another webinar with this same topic in Spanish, and we are going to let you know the new date for a Spanish webinar on this same issue, and we are going to invite you on a Spanish webinar on this same issue. So we thank everyone that had been that assisted to this important webinar. And also, I want to tell everyone that new webinars are going to be held by Ser Carbono in our on this process, and we already identified new topics, important topics we are going to hold these new webinars. The next webinar that we are going to announce that also we will have in English and in Spanish will be about safeguards and how to manage everything around safeguards and the process that involve communities and involve other parties. So I thank everyone to assist to this one. Thank you very much. And we are going to announce soon this webinar in Spanish, and also we are going to announce soon the new webinar that we are going to hold in the next month. Thank you very much to everyone, and we are going to place a record of this webinar on our website sooner as well. Thank you very much.